Hey everyone! Today I have saved a few pages from my kids' Pokemon coloring book. I thought it would be fun to do a couple of these easier kid pages, so I went through and grabbed some of the pages that weren't colored or scribbled on. And you can see here that I picked the one that had watercolor on it from a page that my kids previously did. I am using colored pencils to complete the page, and then because the page I picked has watercolors on it, I decided to cover what I could through the coloring process, but also play into it at the end and have a splash watercolor background. I opted not to use a marker base because the pages were super thin, so I didn't want to oversaturate the page and have it rip on me. This page was more difficult than I thought it would be, especially getting the colors right because everyone knows what Pikachu and Meowth look like. So you would know if something was off about them, even if you can't exactly put your finger on it. And because the pages were super thin, it added to the challenge of making the page look good because at the end of getting all of the layers of colored pencil on, the page was threatening to rip through in multiple spots that I got a little bit heavy-handed with the burnishing. For Pikachu, I wanted to have a little bit of a glow around him using a neon yellow, but then the whole thing looked off, so I quickly scratched that idea and just did a light yellow and then a duller yellow for the base color. Then for the shadows, I used a dark golden yellow, darker orange, and brown. And then for the most shaded parts, I did use black. I was able to get a few layers on the page before it started threatening to rip by using very light pressure. And I was going light to dark, and even getting the darks to show up on the light was hard because the tooth of the paper filled rather quickly. Here you can see me adding in a few of the shadows and just mapping out where I wanted them to be. And even with Pikachu being one solid color, I wanted there to be some variation throughout rather than just having the shadows and then a solid color. So you'll see me switch between 2 or 3 different yellows randomly to get the variation throughout. And this was me trusting the process because he did turn out looking blotchy almost right up until the end. As you can see me here, I was pushing hard trying to get this bright, vibrant yellow to work, and in the end I ended up covering it up anyway because I didn't like the bright, bright yellow because I felt it was too bright for Pikachu himself. So I used a more muted yellow after I already had the bright yellow laid down. I want to know who your favorite Pokemon is. Mine is actually Turtwig, which for those of you who don't know was the little turtle guy in the beginning of this video. But I know that a lot of people recognize both Pikachu and Meowth, so that's why I chose this page. So let me know below who your favorites are, and if I don't have them in a coloring page, I will draw them and color them in my sketchbook. Starting in with Meowth, I did his feet first, and I actually had a lot of problems trying to get the colors right on his actual base color. So he started out like his normal Meowth color, and then I added in too much peach, orangey, yellowy color. And my husband saw me struggling, so he suggested, oh, why not put white over top of everything? Change the hue of it. You know, you think I would have thought of that myself. It did end up working in the end. So if you see him looking like a pale yellow pink color, it does get better after I add the white over top of it, because then it actually turns out that nice tan color that Meowth is. So stick through the process of this one, because he turns out looking really ugly and then looking like he should, which is weird. Because honestly, my husband doesn't color at all, but he came in and saved me with that one. And here is where the magic of the white colored pencil came in. So, yeah, using it to blend and stuff, it always changes the hue, but I really didn't think that it would change that yellow-orange mess that I had on Meowth into something that looked tan-ish brown compared to how yellow he was, because he was almost like Pikachu yellow. So that goes to show you that sometimes you just gotta kind of fiddle around with the colors. Here I am adding the background, and you see me try to splash some of the colors on there and then having to wipe that off the colored pencil. So I didn't want the paint on the characters. So I went through and just added splotches of color throughout, kind of like splatter, because you can see on Pikachu's tail where the blue paint actually didn't come all the way off, and I didn't want that all over the page. And even with me wiping it as soon as I did it, it was still leaving streaks. So I went through with my set of watercolors and just used colors that were similar to the ones that were already on there from my kids. And I actually really liked how the background had turned out. So let me know what you think down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye!